Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Wise. Today we are at the next topic, that is the endgame study explained. We are at the 56th position of our topic. Today we have got a case of rook versus pawns. We see that black has got two pawns against the rook. Pawns are doubled, but we see that the white king is unable to contribute towards the black pawns. So white has only one way of win over here. The position looks little tricky at first. Let's look at some attempts. White has rook g1 check, white has rook g8, white has rook g7. These three are the main candidate moves to begin with. After rook g1 check, king just goes to a2, and if rook g2 check is played, then after b2 we see that white will not be able to do much here, because after kg3 again comes king a1, and after rook g1, b1, rook b1, kb1, kf3, black just has b5. The extra pawn prevails. Of course, we can say that rook g8 will also fail to b2. When after rook a8 check kb1, it looks like the king is unable to escape, but at least black will have a draw. He can always go kc2, and when check is given, again kd2. So kc2 and d2 will keep on happening. So after rook g8, b2, rook a8 check, kb1, kg2, kc2, rook check, kd2, and there is nothing that white can do to avoid b1 queen. So only move rook d8 check, kc2, again rook c8 check, kd2. King will not go to b1, and white cannot improve his king. So at least black has a draw. White has a tactical way to get both the b pawns after the move rook g7. After rook g7, b2, there is rook b7. But now we see that after b1, rook b1, king takes b1. This position is losing for white, because the black king has got the d3 and d4 squares under his control, and king will reach e4 by force. So after kg3, kc2, kf3, kd3, we see that the f pawn would be lost and black will win the game. So what should white do? White has one more way to gain tempo with his rook, and in that he is able to reach a queen endgame where simultaneous queens can be seen. Let's look at one more tactical idea, rook g5, the move which looks impossible at first. First let us focus on the idea of b2. After rook g5, b2, rook f5, we see that b1 queens, but white can gain the tempo with rook a5 check, kb2, rook b5, winning the queen on b1. So rook g5, b2, rook takes f5, b1 equal to queen, and now after rook a5 check, kb2, rook b5 check, white takes on b1, kb1 and f5. We see the f pawn is far more advanced than the b pawn. So after b5, f6, b4, f7, b3, f8, and white wins the game. He can take the h6 pawn and give up his queen for the b pawn. There are other ways to win as well. While playing rook g5, the main thing which comes as an obstruction, or we can say mind block, is the move hg5. When it looks like after h8 and b1, it is the white queen who is coming later, right? So after h into g5, h6, b2, h7, b1, h8. But h8 comes with a check. Not only that, the queen manages to take the b pawn and trade the queens as well. That is the interesting point. So after hg, h6, b2, h7, b1 equal to queen, h8 equal to queen, check. After qb2, queen into b2, kb2, fg, we see that the f pawn can be stopped by the king. And after b5, g6, b4, g7, b3, g8, white pawn queens first. So king a2 first, but after king a2, queen a8 check. Very strong and effective. King b2 or b3 first, queen takes b7 with a check, king c2, queen takes the queen, king takes the queen, and fg5. After f4, g6, f3, just kg3 is possible. and if king comes to c2, then g7, kd2, g8 queens, and white will win the game very easily. Solving the position would be easy if one is able to identify the idea based on the move rook g5. Not just the sacrifice of the rook, but the idea to use the move rook a5 check. I hope you are finding these positions useful. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.